know, bro.
I think
it
dry's better than wet?
Really?
Wet
What do you mean?
hands?
Wet
Like
hands
from
or-
a
My
field.
hands are a little wet
Yeah.
right now, if I'm being honest. I'm a little jealous
Is that
of
because
you.
you're wearing a coat inside?
No. No.
Is that because you're wearing a blanket over your body in the warmth of this office?
I don't think
Ryan's
so.
wearing like a Native American cloak.
I
It's sick though.
Ryan,
Bangs.
Thank
when
you.
people wear coats inside when I'm hot, not wearing a coat, for some reason it bothers me.
You become hot. But
Well,
looking at them,
yeah, I just don't understand because then
our bodies are different.
the
Francis.
question is, Ryan, how are you going to stay warm when it actually does get cold?
Welcome back to Oops the Podcast.
All right, lots to unpack here.
I got something for you.
Please. Julio, I don't know where you came up with that idea.
Dude, this guy was a huge turkey.
What is this, Japan? Which is
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I hadn't told you about it.
No, and I also just assumed you were saving it for the pod if you were going to tell me,
Yeah.
which of course you were.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
Hello. Welcome back to Oops the Podcast. Julio and Francis, 2023. Let's fucking do it.
Let's
Francis,
do it.
how you doing?
I'm all right.
You're all right?
I have a major question that I have to ask you about.
What's going on?
Okay, so it was a continuation from our last episode a little bit, but I drove us from Maine back to New York.
Okay.
So 5.5 hours. Long drive.
Solid.
It's a long drive,
Solid.
you know, especially with a stop and a couple stops and feed the dogs, all that shit. Right? It turns into a 6.5, 7 pretty quick. Here's my question, Julio.
What is that?
At what point in a 5-hour drive can I say home stretch? When does the home stretch start?
Once you're on the like BQE or whatever. like-
Okay. Very interesting answer. So to you, home stretch does not have to do with how much time you have left on your GPS, but rather
it does depend.
where you are in relation to your home, what sort of sights you're seeing, maybe a checkpoint that you pass.
It can depend. But yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to do with a specific distance now or necessarily a time period.
Interesting.
But like, yeah, like typically it'll be like transitioning onto some sort of final road,
right.
whether it be from the main highway to the small highway, or if you go straight off the main highway, then maybe your final road if it's long enough. But like from the exit where you would get off to your house, it's too short of a distance to be the home
That's
stretch.
too short. That's not a
Yeah.
stretch. It's not the home stretch.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
What do you think?
I think the problem was that I prematurely declared the home stretch on this trip home. And when you prematurely declare the home stretch, that last piece from that point on feels that much longer.
Not to mention, yesterday was a crazy day in the city with like the Christmas to New Year's fucking people going to see the tree and all that shit.
We were lucky we don't live in the city. We
But
don't
still,
have to encounter
but dude,
any of that.
But Brooklyn gets it really
we
bad.
didn't have any traffic.
Really?
Yeah.
Even when you got to Brooklyn, there was no traffic.
Not a
Oh,
touch.
that's
we
surprising.
drove. We pulled in at 11 o'clock.
Okay,
PM.
that helps. That helps.
So,
Yeah.
but we were fine. It was the easiest, smoothest drive that I've had.
Oh, so
from
then I
Maine
don't
here.
understand. So when did you declare the home stretch? Like in
I think I
Connecticut or
declared it in exactly when the clock on the GPS went from 1 hour to 59 minutes.
something? Okay. I do that, but only when I'm driving like over 400 miles.
Oh, so it's
Under an hour is the home stretch when you've been driving for like 5, 6, 7 hours.
Yeah, that's
So-
what I thought. I've been driving for
It's
6
kind
hours.
of. I would say that you are sort of on the cusp of whether or not. I think it could go either way. I think you were not wrong to do it,
Yeah.
but it's not quite long enough that an hour doesn't feel long. When you've been driving 8 hours, an hour's nothing.
Right.
But 5 is sort of right on the cusp.
Yeah. No,
Right?
5 hours. Yeah, maybe. 5 is pretty long. I don't do drives much longer than that.
Yeah, it's a long drive.
It's a long drive. So I know you do long.
Not
drives.
all the time, but I'm probably more open to it than most people.
You can break off an 8-hour drive.
Yeah, easy.
A drive that says it's going to take 8 hours to do.
Yes,
That's nuts.
I do
Fuck
enjoy it.
that, dude.
I did all the driving
can't.
this holiday too. Like I drove. I mean, I didn't do anything crazy. Oh, I went to New Jersey, but like I did end up doing a fair amount of driving. Yeah, it doesn't. tend
Your
to
lower
bother me.
back doesn't start to hurt?
Sometimes my arm will start to hurt. And there was one time when I
That's
was
called having a heart attack.
when I was doing my long road trip, I was situating my body in a way where like a part of one of my stomach muscles began to like feel bad.
Yeah.
It is a thing.
I don't think you're supposed to sit for that long.
Yeah, makes sense.
Where did you drive 8 hours? What's an 8-hour drive?
The
to
longest
you?
drive I've ever done is New York to St. Louis, and I took the scenic route. It took like 18 hours. It was like 1,100 miles, the drive. Or I think
And
1,044
you
miles.
certainly you stopped.
Yeah, but not to sleep.
No?
No.
You didn't stop to sleep?
Nope. We stopped a couple times just to get snacks and shit.
What the hell,
And bro,
man?
I picked up, Benny D came, classic Benny D. He just lost his license. So we went on this road trip, and then I just had to drive the entire time. Classic.
Wait, did he lose the card or did he get his license
No,
revoked?
he lost his physical license.
Ah.
But still, so I guess, I don't know. I don't know if there's some loophole there we didn't know of. But,
You
dude,
probably could, he could have driven.
really?
Yeah, they can look him up.
Really?
Just because you've lost your card does not mean that if you were to
If
get
you don't
pulled
have your
over,
physical license, it's okay?
you're fine. They have you in their
Lifestyle.
system and stuff.
Oh, fuck.
I want that 9 hours back.
Well, dude, I'm trying to think. We stopped a couple times. We stopped at an Arby's in West Virginia. And I remember he asked for, I know this is like a very early pod story that I told, but he asked for us like a burger or whatever. And they were like, do you want the mid? And he was like, what's the mid? He's like, no, I'm good. Like, that's the only like thing. I think that's one of the only times we stopped. Grab that food real quick. And then
Wait, what was that story? What's that about?
I don't know,
What was
dude.
that you just said?
The mid. Something about the mid. I don't know what the fuck the mid it means, dude.
The mid?
Yeah, like at Arby's, there's an option to turn it into the mid.
And that's upgrading it?
We don't know, but we didn't want to know. We're like, we're good on the on the mid, dude.
Oh.
We're
Wow.
like, what, dude? The mid?
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Damn.
but dude, it was crazy. Like then driving through like Indiana and wherever, like there was all this crazy weather. Anyway, we had left in the afternoon, so we got to our destination at like 11 a.m.
Hang on a second. You drove through Indiana to get to St. Louis?
Yeah.
That to me does sound like a very scenic route.
Well, so I think you end up going through Indiana either way because we
Is that
went
right?
we wanted to go through West Virginia because I'd never been to West Virginia.
Yeah.
Which
My
added
geography's-
100 miles
Wow.
or 150 miles to it. But anyway, that's the longest drive I've done.
Unreal.
Yeah.
All
We
right.
did-
So then, okay, let me ask you that because this turned into a very funny conversation because I said this thing about the home stretch and I asked Sierra where she thinks the home stretch starts. And she also said that it has to do with what you see, where you are in relation to your home, right?
Mhm.
And I said, okay, well, the home stretch can also apply to non-driving or distance things. You can be in the home stretch of your work year. We're in the home stretch here. Team,
Right. And the thing-
quarters coming to an end.
it's
We're
a,
in the home stretch.
it's a good discussion because of that point. Like it can be applied in so many different ways. It is not like a technical thing where like, oh, it's the home stretch. Like we're gonna bring out the pin to measure it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it can be used differently.
But this is what was so funny was that she said, I said, it's crazy that home stretch has been a sports term that is applied from sports and brought into, so many different aspects of life as this sort of subjective, malleable term. And I said, do you know where home stretch comes from? And she goes, yeah, it's from in baseball in the 7th inning when you get up and stretch. And I
the
said,
seventh inning stretch.
that is not correct. And she said it with so much confidence and was teaching me
Oh,
as
wow.
though I didn't know. And I said,
Wow.
that's not true. It's from horse racing when the horses they round the bend
Right,
and
right.
now they're in the home stretch. I'm pretty confident that's where it's from.
Ryan's giving us the in-game thumbs up.
And if we ask ourselves, well, how much of that horse race is that final straightaway in relation to the whole race, right?
Right. I don't know.
Then we might be able to do a
Oh,
ratio
interesting.
for a percentage of your trip, right?
It seems as if the home stretch is like 20% of the race.
You think?
Maybe I'm completely off on that.
I
How
just
many
don't
laps
know.
do they do?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I think it's just one, but it depends
Yeah,
on the length.
It's
right.
the last part of.
Yeah, right,
Jump
go ahead,
in,
go
Ryan.
ahead,
We
go
don't
ahead,
want to
pal.
wait for this fact.
Go ahead.
No, this needs some digging. So
Okay.
I-
Mm.
Dig.
Okay, dig away. And yeah, I think if we knew that, let's say that was the last 20%, then we could say that in a 5-hour drive, that's all right. It'd be the last hour would be exactly 20%.
Yeah, I remember thinking specifically in that drive that I'm talking about, the St. Louis drive, when the GPS said 59, I thought to myself, this is the home stretch.
There you go. Then that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, it is that way. Now, let's say that you were in a 1-hour workout and you knew it was hard. Let's say it was a 1-hour soul cycle class or something. When would you say to yourself to try to bolster yourself, get to the finish line? I'm in the home stretch now.
I typically would just wait for the instructor to tell me, because they do it. This is the final climb.
Yeah.
The final hill.
Yeah.
This is where we leave it all out there.
Uh-huh.
Ride.
Mm.
Dude, speaking of which, man, okay, I've been hitting New York Pilates hard.
Whoa.
The finest Pilates studio. If you want to go in there, you want to sweat, but you still want to smell like sandalwood, this is the spot for you, dude. I have a new term there. I am the inner thigh guy. Because one day the instructor asked me, what do you want to work on today? And I said, inner thighs. And she thought that was the most preposterous thing she had ever heard in her life. And she will tell me that sometimes when I'm not there, she'll tell the story, and everybody in the class thinks it's the funniest
Yeah,
thing. they've ever heard.
what do you need that for?
I feel like the inner thigh is difficult to work on.
Are
I'm
you
like,
trying to extend your thigh gap?
No, I just have like big legs, dude, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I want to like have like muscular legs or something. I don't fucking know, dude.
On the inside?
Perhaps everywhere.
Why not the outside?
Both, but I feel like the inside's hard to like. I don't know. Well, dude. Anyway, I want to do some inner thighs, and now I've become a legend. So if you see
I didn't
me
mean to make you self-conscious
No, it's
just
okay,
now. I
it's
think
okay.
that's a very funny thing.
If you see me at New York Pilates, just know I'm pushing for inner thighs.
Inner thigh guy.
Inner thigh guy.
ITG. That's a good guy. That we need that guy
He's
for
a decent
International
guy.
Guys Day.
You do.
You need an inner thigh guy
You need the inner thigh
at
guy.
International Guys Day.
Occasionally, I'll be the only man too, which is nice. I'm the male contingent in the class,
Mhm.
and sometimes they'll give me a round of applause.
Will they?
They say, "Give it up for the man."
Do they
Hmm.
say, ladies and gentlemen?
Do
Do they give you one of those?
I've heard that. Sure, yes.
Someone sent me a Instagram of Martha Stewart of what she did
yeah.
for fucking Christmas, and was like,
her niece.
looks like a pretty bitch ass gift or something that her niece made. I don't know how they found it.
Dude, that's hilarious.
We got an answer.
Oh, sick.
In horse racing, the straight areas between the turns of a racetrack are known as stretches or straightaways. So that would be the final stretch.
Yeah, but that's
The
not
home
that
stretch.
you can't necessarily say that, right? Because the finish line does not come, I don't think, at the end of the stretch, the end of the straightaway. I think it's before that.
I don't think we're gonna get a solid answer on
We
this.
need to
That's
know-
Just
I get what he's saying.
part
It's
of
like the final. Even if you don't complete the stretch, you are part of this final stretch.
That might be as far as we can take this.
Wow, that's pretty.
No, that dude, to me,
pretty
that's like,
lackluster effort from our researcher there.
dude, that is pretty solid to me because it's true. You come into the final stretch, and then the race is over.
Okay, then just pull up a diagram of or a drawing or something of a horse track and show me that the finish line is at the very end of the stretch, right before the start of the turn. If that's true, I will concede the point.
That's
to
what he
you,
said. That is what he said, right? Did you not say that?
Yes, but
No,
I
I
don't
was
think it is.
I was defining that that's the straight area. That's
don't
the
think it-
stretch. It's
I
called
think
a
it's-
stretch.
I get that, but I think that the finish line is before that. I think it's 2/3 of the way down the stretch.
Right, but the stretch is still the stretch.
Yes,
Whether
but
you
it's,
complete the stretch or
but
not,
that
may
means
not
that
matter.
the home stretch is not the full stretch.
Correct.
It's a different stretch.
It's
a shorter stretch.
And do you think that is why everybody knows that the home stretch is in fact a shorter stretch?
I think it's why it's a.
Or is it just implied?
I think it's why it's known as a different stretch than the stretch.
Or other stretches.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the finish
Or
line
it's just the final
appears to be
stretch.
halfway through the stretch.
Look at that. Exactly right. So therefore, we would have to say, and we would have to figure out exactly what amount of the entire track the entire lap or whatever, that from the start of the last stretch to the finish line, the true home stretch is. And once we knew that, what percentage that was, we could apply that to our 5-hour drive and say, okay, for the last, 38 minutes.
Yes.
Technically.
Technically, yes.
I'm glad we got there. That one was, had to really push for that.
Home stretch, baby.
Really pushed for that one. Cheers,
Happy
pal.
New Year, buddy.
Happy New Year.
2023. No better way to start the new year than with a healthy beverage.
A can of Hangobi.
Can
That
of
sets you on the
Hangobi.
right foot.
Sure does.
I
Absolutely
can't
delicious.
think of any better way to secure and follow through on my New Year's resolutions of being a healthier, wealthier, better individual.
Dude, you know who's crushing these late night at my apartment on New Year's Eve? Ashley. She's like, these are good. I was
Wow.
like, yeah, they are.
Good for her.
She was hitting the columns hard.
Nice.
We had a very eclectic little late night gathering. Dude, listen to this crew. Okay. Dylan Palladino,
Love him.
his girl, Pete, Big Pete
Oh, from the stand.
from the stand,
Huge Pete. Yeah.
Little Peter,
Yeah.
and Ashley.
No way.
That's the squad. We probably hung out till 5 o'clock in the morning.
Jesus.
And Hill Dog, of course.
Yeah.
But Hill Dog Irished at one point, even though she's in the apartment. She's like, you were behaving as if I didn't exist. So I just went to bed directly to bed. I was like, that is not true, but what a big night.
Love
Anyway,
that.
Hangobis were flowing like wine, baby.
They were flowing. It's a great late night cocktail when people are a little tired of having booze and want to switch to something else. Or if they want to keep drinking, they could throw a little
Oh, yeah.
touch in there.
We were mixing,
Yeah, mixing and matching.
fixing and mixing.
I'm drinking the essential as always, guys. It's got ashwagandha for that mental clarity. It's got cardamom, turmeric, and ginger, and it always makes me feel sprightly and youthful.
And I really love the calm. His elderberry chamomile really gets you chilling. The tart cherry flavor. Go to hangobi.com right now. Use promo code OOPSI'mHung, and you're going to get 30% off of your order. That's hangobi.com. Oops, I'm hung. 30% off your order. Hangobi is in over 150 stores now. Slowly but surely spreading like wildfire. Get in there, get some before it gets too hot, so you knew what was happening beforehand. Hangobi.com. Dude, side note, I have fully established a functioning actual charity. By the way, since people have been asking about whether or not the Afghanistan stuff or when it'll be ready, it's ready. So the website is thelocalliteracyproject.org.
Wow.
And we are accepting full-scale donations. And thank you to everybody who donated on Instagram. You will all be receiving receipts. And
Wow.
you can apply it to the 2022 tax year, by the way. So any of you who did it, that will all be applicable to your taxes before you file them, which is exciting. And I can't believe we were able to pull this off.
Pretty epic. Let's give Julio a round of applause
Thank you.
to all of those.
This is all about Afghanistan, by the way. Anybody
Yeah.
who is a new listener, we started some schools in Afghanistan.
Schools.
Well, we started a school, and then we replaced a teacher at a different school. So
Huh.
it's technically schools now, but
Why did
School,
you
school.
replace the teacher?
the original teacher had to leave,
Oh, I see.
and there was no way. It wasn't like there was no like school system. It's not like
Right.
there was just a new teacher. They just weren't going to school anymore.
Amazing. How passionate are you about this project? Is this becoming something that you're going to really, spend a lot of time and become your thing?
No, it's not going to become my thing. I'm passionate enough about it that, in the sense that like I began it, and it would just be irresponsible to stop caring. Like I don't know.
No, of course. I get that.
So since these people are like getting these people, setting them up with a school situation for 3 months, is not doing them a favor necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be nice to get to a point. So it's interesting you say this. So the reason why the name is broader is because if the charity were to grow and become and start doing different things, that would be great. So we can include them all. But will I, like you said, want to just become a full-time charity guy? I don't know, and I don't necessarily think so.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, we would the foundation would hire people.
Very cool. I think that's smart.
Thank you. So I'm a board member.
Oh,
I'm on the board.
Is there a board?
There's a board. To be a legitimate 501c, you need to have a board. And the
Have
board.
you elected other people to the board?
Yeah. Guess who one of the board members is? Ping Pong Brian.
Oh my God, Ping Pong Brian,
Ping Pong Brian.
PPB.
The legend himself. Well, he set me up with the other person who is like a charity person who knows about how to do all this shit, which is amazing. And he was the first person to sort of contribute money toward the cause. We didn't know the cause existed when that happened.
Unreal.
General charity.
I have not donated yet, but
Dude,
I feel bad. I'm ashamed.
Dude, you do not have to.
That I have not yet.
You do not have to. There's no that would be very annoying.
Yeah, but I should be.
No, dude.
I just need a moment to catch my breath from all the money that I spent in December on stuff.
Well, I'll tell you this: if you haven't taken your charity deduction yet, you can do it with this if you wanted to.
What is that? How
So
much?
you ask your accountant. I think it's different for everybody. I know how much I'm allowed to do toward it. I'm not sure what your deal is, but you should ask and see.
Okay.
And if it makes sense for you, do it. And if not, who gives a shit? It's fine. We're doing really well, which is amazing.
Yeah, but you got to get that killer mentality when it comes to fundraising. You got to. It's never enough.
Agreed. But I will say this: like, I don't need to turn this into. It just is what it is. Like, we have this school. Hopefully, we'll be able to continue to be the case. If it were to not become the case that it could no longer continue, we would pivot to other charitable things in the area until we decided to stop. I don't know.
Did you have the option to name it the Gallerati School?
Yes. I told them that they could name it. I didn't need to be naming it after myself.
How humble.
It's called the Guest School.
The Guest
They
School?
named it the Guest School.
Why?
Don't know. That's just what they called it.
Come on, you got to.
I swear to God, bro.
We need an answer to that.
We bought them a printer, which they've really been enjoying. They've been sending us a lot of photos with printed things. They love the printer, dude. These people. They love this fucking printer. Anyway, so I just know
Who doesn't love a good
who
printer?
doesn't love a printer?
When a printer works, when it comes out and you don't have like low ink and it's not hazy lettering, it's just crisp,
Oh yeah,
quick, perfectly printed.
bro. That only lasts for like a few days.
Think about
Printer
when,
ink is a big
when
racket.
you'd write a 6-page paper in high school on the scarlet letter and you'd finally finish it. You had your mom look it over for typos and you finally were done and you hit print and the pages came out and you pulled them all out and then you went pop, pop, pop. You know what I mean?
Oh, you
pushed them on the ground and hit them on the ground. Tap, tap, tap.
tap,
And then you threw a little staple in the
on
top. And then you said, oh boy, that's going to be a B minus. That was a good feeling.
That was a good feeling.
That was a good feeling.
Finishing that paper was nice. But anyway, dude, they named it the Guest School. I found out in a photo that they sent, and I was like, all right, I guess they're calling it that. Great. Must be some like translation situation.
I wonder why people who start charities decide to eponymously name their charities.
What do you mean? Did I do that?
No, you did not. Eponymous means named, a name that contains its own name, named after itself.
Who's the Sackler Foundation?
Yeah,
I know they're in
exactly.
hot water, the
Yeah.
opioid stuff. Do they do that?
Yeah, like Newman's Own.
Hmm.
Paul
Oh,
Newman, right?
interesting.
Or Andre Agassi. I think he named his school
Oh.
after himself.
So I get it. I think that the thing that's so nice about this charity is that it just is what it actually is. There's no hoopla. There's no bullshit. It's like I don't make charities. I did it by accident, you know? And then I was like, oh, like, hopefully we can, you know what I mean?
It's very cool, man. It's something you should be very proud of, and it's something that does read very well. I mean, I would put that in your bio on
thanks.
your
Maybe I
website
should
and
do
stuff like that. It's just awesome.
I will do that, actually. That's
And
very
it makes people like you. It makes people say he's a good guy, especially if you get some of those pictures with the kids. You're gonna have to go back over there.
nice. Get some with them.
I hate to say,
I have-
you
I
know
have
you're
one.
gonna have to go back, right?
Yeah, maybe.
You're gonna have to go back when these kids graduate,
Oh, that's that
when
is-
they've grown up, and you can sort of walk them down the aisle for graduation or something like that, or
I likely will have to go back, and I'm fine with that. I'd like
one
to.
of them kind of gets into some kind of a college, I guess. I don't know what.
Yeah, no, there
That'd be
are.
pretty
So the
sick.
problem, the sad thing, unfortunately, is that it doesn't appear that girls are allowed to go to college anymore. They weren't allowed to go to high school either. So I'm like, they could go to college but not high school. I'm not really understanding, but okay. And then there was talk about it potentially being a thing in general that girls just can't go to school.
Well, yeah, that
which
was
I
the
think
whole...
already is a sort of a thing.
Yeah.
But as long as it's not mandated, I think we're good. So we're hoping that, and I've been told that as long as it's not some like mandate that's enforced, we shouldn't have an issue. And we also are under some other classification, like it's technically not a school. It's
Huh.
like it's a course.
Oh.
Whatever the fuck that means. So we'll see.
All right.
Looking
Cool.
Hopefully keeps going well. That's it.
Well, that's pretty cool, man. I wish you and the guest school incredible success and continued expansion and safe learning for all these fantastic kids. I love kids.
Kids are good.
I've always, that's been my kind of thing that I've always loved.
Yeah, they have a lot of things. There's a lot of things about like pre-corruption that make you superior. Like if you're a kid and you go to a group of kids and you're like, "What's up?" They like invite you to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
As an adult, you can't do that.
No.
You know, if they're like, "Yeah, come on, like let's all like play house together and shit."
I love, yeah, and education too. I mean that, it's just that to me, if I had a cause, I would say I would want it to be something around that.
Yeah.
So it's very cool that you've built this thing.
I wasn't trying to like pat myself on the back. I know that we were waiting for updates on this.
I don't think you are patting yourself on the back, but I think you deserve commendation for this.
I appreciate
I mean, and let's also get some updated photos. I want to see some of those videos you sent of them saying, "Thank you, Mr. Julio."
it. I know they're crazy.
That was
right?
really cool, man.
I know.
That was pretty darn cool.
I know.
I want to see that printer.
Yeah, dude. I posted a couple of these on that post. I did a carousel post with some shit. But there's a couple good ones I'll show you. They're nice. Like here's printer stuff. Like
Oh, they printed this.
they print out guest school, and then they also have the things that they write. Thank you, whatever.
Mr. Julio.
We are happy, whatever.
Thanks for helping us, Mr. Julio. Man, these must be some big fonts.
I know. Hey guys, conserve the ink here.
One
Conserve-
page? I mean, come on.
Yeah, we don't
Ink
need to-
cartridges don't grow on trees.
Sure don't.
These kids don't look particularly happy. But I guess that's just being at school.
So, dude, all right, smiling. They're not like picture smilers. They have to be like coached to smile.
Is that
And
right?
I remember telling that's the guy up there. I'm like, dude, try to make these people smile in the pictures. Like that'll be helpful. I know that it's like weird to do
Oh, okay.
because like people will be smiling and then it's like time for a picture and they're like no, dude,
Oh.
smile. It's okay. But this girl looks happy.
There you go. That's a little better.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I
Nice.
have a
Alright.
question for you.
Yeah, please.
Okay, in your mind, what can you recall any of the most overrated either tourist attractions or famous destinations or landmarks or whatever? Something that was sort of advertised as this grand, incredible thing, and you saw it and you were like, not that cool.
Oh, golly. My guess is that you're asking me this question to set up one for yourself. So while you let me think. Let me hear what your example is.
I haven't thought it through a ton, but when we were talking earlier, I thought of this. The tree in Rockefeller Center is one for me.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I don't think it's that fucking cool or
No.
impressive. It's like, it's a fucking tree, dude. And it's like not even as big as I thought it was going to be.
Right.
I thought it was going to be like the biggest tree in the world or something. That's stupid of me to think, but like the biggest pine, like it's just like a normal big pine tree.
Yeah,
Like you see those in Maine all the time,
I do.
you know?
We have those. We have big ones.
One time, like they got the one from our town and everyone was like, from our town, they picked it. They picked it from our town.
That became the tree for Rockefeller Center.
For that year. And that was like the greatest
Wow.
thing that had ever happened in our town besides Jeff Bagwell being from there originally.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Jeff Bagwell.
Yeah. Jeff Bagwell.
Uh-huh.
MVP.
Yeah. I hear he's working at Stop and Shop these days.
What? Oh. Look out, Anus Pod. Look out, Anus Pod.
Paper or plastic, man?
Comes with the territory. Is there anything like that comes to mind?
Well, my mind's going all over the place. I'm sort of taking inventory of
Because to
sites.
me, I'm thinking of things. Brooklyn Bridge lives up to the hype. Statue of Liberty lives up to the hype. Eiffel Tower lives up to the hype.
Lives
Barely.
up to the hype. Come on.
It lives up.
Come on. First time you went to Paris and you saw the Eiffel Tower.
It lives up to the hype. It doesn't live up to the hype. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
you
I
think
don't
it
know if
does?
I agree.
Okay,
I would
okay,
put
that's fine.
that up
All
there
subjective.
as like one of the things that is just. The second I saw it, I was like, I mean, I was young, but it was so iconic, and it was so big, and then you go under it and you go up it, and I thought it was pretty
okay,
darn cool.
fine. I take it back. You're right. It does. I mean, I said it did to begin with, but I will say more with more certainty.
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore lives up to the hype.
Okay.
Like, what does not live up to the hype? I know that you understood the question well, but I'm just helping to take inventory of some well-known sites.
Sure.
Um,
I keep thinking of ones where there's a lot of hype, and then I was thinking Golden Gate Bridge, but the Golden Gate Bridge
Yeah.
kind of lives up to the hype.
I got
man.
one. Lincoln Memorial.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I really respectfully disagree.
You really?
Yeah, I went there for the first time. I'd never really been to DC until about 4 years ago.
Oh, really?
When I went for shows, and we walked down the mall.
Okay, the mall is separate from the memorial itself.
No, I know, but I went from the Air and Space Museum, went in there, and then I walked all the way past the Washington Monument, and then all the way into the Lincoln Memorial. And I read the words on the wall, and I was.
The E pluribus unum.
It's
Something else? Or is it
isn't
like
it
part
his
of the Gettysburg
No,
Address?
it's the short part of the Gettysburg Address.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That I found to be incredibly moving, and there's a solemnity to it, where you look at his face, and you understand what he stands for and represents, and the way they've made the water outside, and how it's sort of dark and recessed inside, and it just, I mean, after you watch Lincoln the movie and you know everything, I don't know. I found that pretty heavy.
I'm trying to think. Now that you say that, I'm like, okay.
I don't want to dissuade you,
No,
but
you're not. But I think like the layout of it, the statue I agree is impressive.
yeah.
The layout to me feels like a little stale. I like prefer the Thomas Jefferson Memorial.
Yeah, we can disagree. I wasn't a huge fan of slavery.
Dude, nor was I. Nice try.
Says the guy who mentions liking Thomas Jefferson more.
Nice try.
Mhm.
Nice try.
Where's the Jefferson Memorial?
It's like around there somewhere.
Monticello?
No, that's his house.
No, I know that, but
No, it's in D.C.
I don't know that I've been to that.
There's a Jefferson Memorial that's sort of like freestanding, kind of on the water. It's
Cool.
really pretty.
Oh yeah,
It's nice. Yeah.
that's cool.
I will say this: some memorial monuments, whatever, hit much differently at night. And like if you see them during the day for the first time, they won't hit differently. At night.
Sure.
Two of those, the FDR Memorial in D.C. Is really spectacular at night, in my
Mm.
opinion, and also the Oklahoma City Memorial
For the bombing?
for the bombing.
Oh wow.
Nighttime, gorgeous.
Wow.
Like really, like the chills thing that you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
I got that there a little bit.
Interesting.
Now we're just talking about all the great.
No, I
monuments.
know. I keep
But it's-
cycling. I keep
yeah.
cycling to come up with ones that I just don't think are that.
Where you're like, dude,
are
overrated.
that amazing? I'm trying to think about sports memorials.
And yeah, if you guys think of something that if you have one, feel free to message us. It would be fun for us to critique people's
Mm-hmm.
things that they thought didn't live up to it. Disagree, agree, whatever. It's
Yeah.
a fun topic for discussion.
I have one.
What
The Leaning Tower of Pisa is just kind of like
Ah,
just there.
That's
I don't know.
kinda
It's
true.
not
It's a
very
good one.
exciting.
that's pretty
You're
good.
That is
like,
good. I've never
That's a
been.
pretty good one.
I've never been.
And
I've
it's
only
like
seen it
so
from the
far out of
train.
way,
I
and-
got one. Thank you, Chris. This opened it up. The David.
Oh, in Florence,
Yeah.
I was just like impressed with how big it was. It was so big.
It's so famous, and there was a gigantic line that we waited in for hours in the sun, and by the time we got to it, I just said, for this? All for this?
Let me ask you this: I've never actually taken the time to go to the Mona Lisa, even when I've been at the Louvre. Does it live up to you or for you?
Probably not. I think that's a decent one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a decent one that you're saying there. There are other paintings in the Louvre that I found, the raft of the Medusa, you can look at for an hour.
Was it sick?
It's
Who
incredible.
painted that? Is it painting?
Yeah, it's huge. It's another famous guy. Who is it, Ryan? Raft of the Medusa.
Uh,
And it,
Theodore Gericault?
okay.
Or like Chault?
Gerricicault.
C-A-U-L-T.
He was
That one,
27.
it's so big and there's so much going on.
Sick.
Yeah, the Mona Lisa is very small,
Mhm.
and there's always a gigantic crowd of people around.
Dude, the most expensive painting in the Met is like this big.
Which one is it?
It's by Duccio or something.
Huh.
Duccio Bonasegna or something. The Met paid like an absurd amount of money for it. Ryan, I think you'll be able to find that pretty easily. It's like Mary holding
Madonna and Child.
Yes, Madonna and
Interesting.
Child.
40. It was purchased for 45 million.
Wow.
Bro, it's tiny. It's smaller than the picture you gave me.
That's got to be super old. When's that?
Yeah, it's from like
from?
1400 or something,
Yeah.
right? It's from like pre Renaissance.
Interesting. The Bean in Chicago, very lackluster.
I've heard that I need to see it. No one's ever taken me to it.
Is that true?
I typically just post up in the burbs like a good boy.
The Plymouth Rock sucks.
Yeah, any Quaker, or sorry, not any colonial village that I've been to. I went to one in near William and Mary in Virginia.
Oh, the reenactments, dude.
Yeah, the colonial
Snooze
village
City.
near William and Mary.
Bro, boomers love colonial times.
Do they?
I think so. My dad
Butter
loves it.
churns.
My dad loves it. Hillary's dad loves it. I've never been able to get into it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
We've said it before. They think George Washington is like, that's it. George Washington. That's their Michael Jordan.
Interesting. Dude, I mean, I've never been to a Civil War reenactment.
Dude,
but-
I'd rather just go. I have an imagination. I don't need some weird dude to dress up like the guy. Oh, load the cannon.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. I'd rather just be on the field.
Shane has a new bit about going to, I think going to Monticello or something, going to
Or
Washington's
Mount Vernon.
house.
Mount
Vernon, yeah, and all those people are in character and
Oh.
interacting with them, and it is really.
It was
special.
cool. I've been there. I thought it was pretty cool.
That's cool.
But
How
yeah.
about Times Square?
I think it's impressive. I'm sick of it now. But my physical therapist is there, so I'm there a lot. And every time I'm like, this is fucking annoying. But then I'm
Mhm.
also like, all right, at night, like it is cool to see for the first time.
No, I found this list. The Hollywood sign.
Yeah, I
Cool.
would say it's cool enough that I can't say it does not live up.
It's cool.
I would put it in the sort of like
But I feel like I would never go to it. It's just like there.
you can though. Like
in
if
the
you do
back.
the hike,
We've
if you
done
do
that. I've done that with my buddies.
if you do that hike, you can
Oh.
get pretty close to it,
Hmm.
and it looks cooler when you get close.
That's cool.
What else is on there?
Sacred Monkey Forest in Bali. The
That is-
Champs Elysees in Paris.
Champs-Élysées.
Champs-Élysées.
Yeah, that was
It's
the number
pretty.
one.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's the Arc de
The-
Triomphe.
Yeah, the number one most overrated on this list.
Yeah.
These people are fucking
The London
pikers, dude.
Eye in England.
Oh, the Ferris wheel.
Wheel.
Yeah. And the Alamo.
The Alamo.
Oh, the Alamo.
Oh.
I've been there.
How's that?
Well, I haven't been inside.
You may have said.
I think I.
I think
Yeah,
you
but
might have.
that to me is an unfair because I didn't go in.
Right.
So I don't know.
But dude, I will say this: almost all the time, and fine. Maybe if you went in, there'd be some shit where you'd be like, "Whoa!" Like the exterior of the place is like, if it sucks, the inside making it better is like unusual.
Uh-huh.
Of as far as a landmark is concerned,
That's
like
true.
Notre Dame, if you know, it's sick on the outside. Like
It's
if you go
pretty
in,
sick
it's not
on the
sick.
inside. It's
Yeah,
so
it's
sick on the
I,
inside.
that was one of the stupidest
The
things. I've ever
stained
said.
glass.
The flying buttresses.
Oh my god, it's so big on the inside. Remember when?
No, can you guys please not like give me a hard time about changing my mind in the middle of my sentence? I think that shows growth as a person that I can
Absolutely.
admit that I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I said something stupid, and I admit it. I'm sorry.
I've said this before, but the single most astounding landmark or site that I've ever seen was the Great Wall of China.
Oh wow.
That was the most incredible thing that exceeded, and I didn't know what my expectations were. I didn't really have high I was just going because it was part of the thing we were doing, and we went, and I was like, I couldn't really focus on the work
Wow.
because I was so in awe of what this place was, of what
That's
this
sick.
thing was.
Had Donnie been there before too?
Yeah, he spent a night up there once. So, wore a full suit for some reason. Middle of summer, they woke up super hungover and they had no water, and like were fundamentally dying
That's
on the
dangerous,
wall,
yeah. Oh my
and
God.
needed to get down. And I think he puked off the wall or something like that.
He's a legend. They are lifting all restrictions. I believe today, either January 5th or January 8th or something. There will no longer be any COVID restrictions regarding travel, regarding
Wow.
anything. So maybe Donnie will head back over there. I can hitch a ride.
Let me ask you something. My hands are dry,
Tis the season.
and I don't care.
I love it.
What's wrong? What's wrong with having dry hands?
It's just so they say it like eventually leads to you looking old.
Oh.
Because like your hands, which
Yeah.
by the way, bro, guess what? I don't give a fuck if my hands look old.
Yeah, I don't really either.
Maybe is that just like a girl thing?
They
Like girls love hand cream.
sure do.
I agree
don't
with you.
like it. I don't like the feel of my hands feeling all creamy.
Are you dry in general?
Yeah, probably. I'm a pretty dry guy.
My lips get dry, but like my face never gets dry. My skin doesn't usually get dry. Dude, sometimes my butt gets a little dry. Dude.
Oh, really?
And I'll moisturize my tush.
Oh, look at that.
That's just on the sides.
Yeah, look,
Little
look,
side tush.
tush cream.
Yeah. Well, that's insane.
My hands are dry, and I was just wondering, does it matter?
They're not that dry.
Look at that. You
If-
can see the whiteness between the.
I don't know, bro.
I
Is
think
it
dry's better than wet.
Really?
Wet
What do you-
hands.
Wet
like
hands
from
are-
from a
My hands
field-
are a little wet
yeah.
right now, if I'm being honest. I'm a little jealous.
Is that
because
because you're wearing a coat inside?
No, no.
Is that because you're wearing a blanket over your body in the warmth of this office?
I don't think
Ryan's
so.
wearing like a Native American cloak.
I
Sick though.
Ryan,
Bangs.
it when
you.
people wear coats inside when I'm hot, not wearing a coat, for some reason it bothers me.
You become hot. By looking
Well,
at them.
yeah, I just don't understand because then
Our bodies are different.
then the
Francis.
question is, Ryan, how are you going to stay warm when it actually does get cold? You're setting
He
yourself
has a
up
coat.
for coldness. You need to keep your body honest. You need to keep your body honest because you can only layer up so much.
I understand. I appreciate
If you took
the
that
advice
off,
you have.
I think your body would regulate to the normal temperature, and you'd be okay.
But I'm okay right now, though.
I think you're hot.
I've been hotter wearing less before, so I'm fine today. I'm also naturally cold. I was gonna follow up and ask you guys that. Are you guys naturally warm or
I
cold?
run so hot,
Nah, bro.
and that makes me
I'm
proud.
hot as shit.
I'm proud of
Same.
that.
Hillary always says I'm warm like a baby. I sleep on my stomach and I'm warm like a baby.
babies are
she,
warm.
She rubs me.
Do you sleep with blankets?
So not always.
Yeah, sometimes I'll just be under a sheet, bro.
Yeah.
Same.
I just go straight sheet.
But it's all right to run cold, bro.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm cold. Every time if I try to touch my girlfriend, she flinches, which is great feedback.
Because
I love that.
you're
great.
Because your hands are cold.
So I'm so cold. And she's like,
Why are you so
Don't-
cold?
I don't know.
He's just
but
cold.
I think that starts. You did that to yourself. I'm blaming you for that. I think you wore coats and didn't take them off,
Maybe you need to eat
even
more
though
iron.
you should have. And then your body said, "Okay, well, this is what this is. We're gonna just be now. Now we will bring our internal temperature to comfort level at this 78 degrees. And then when the rooms that you're in are below 78, you need to wear your coat now. Which means that when God forbid, Ryan, if an ice age comes, you are in trouble.
that day comes, so be it. I don't know.
Ugh,
I'm chilling.
That'll be all
I
right.
know. Well, you're not. You're
You'll
not
be-
chilling.
You're chilly.
You're heating.
All right. Well, we got to wrap it up here, but there is somebody texted me this thought, which I thought was funny. I joked that I rented out the movie theater for Hillary. when in fact we were just the first people there.
Uh,
It actually ended up being sold out, but we got there 15 minutes early and we were the first people
that's
there.
unheard of.
Unusual, right? And by the way, there was a bunch of riffraff in that theater.
Oh
A
no!
bunch of kids in hoodies came in. I was like, uh-oh. And then we just sat next to an entire family, including one toddlers at Avatar. Thank
That's
God they were
so
behaved.
tough.
It was fucked up. Hillary was sitting next to a 2-year-old.
You know what they
It was
should do?
crazy.
You know what they should do, by the way? They should have the option to pay for a movie theater for a big release like Avatar, where it's like the quiet car on a train.
Oh, right.
You know, they should have the ability for you to say, I'm someone who really expects and hopes for quiet so that I can watch this movie with no commentary.
Right. And the problem with that, though, is you open the floodgate. That it basically admits that you're allowed to be loud otherwise.
Well, fine. I think that there is something fun.
There should be the loud theater.
There's the loud theater. Hey,
Come and fight with your friends.
go ahead and talk back to the characters on screen.
Yeah.
Warn people as they're about to get killed in this horror film.
Feel free to engage in full discussion. as
Not
the
for
movie goes
nothing.
on.
I enjoy going to those movies. I enjoy going to movies where there is sometimes
Chatter.
feedback, but that is it's got to be horror movies. I like that. Maybe a comedy, you know?
Sure.
I like that. I like the banter. I
Yeah.
enjoy that. I
Sure,
just
why
think
not?
it's funny. I'll never, yeah, but man, oh man, if I want a quiet movie and I want to focus and there's rustling,
Yeah.
somebody brought a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in a paper bag, like they work construction.
Yeah.
They're handing that out. Pass this one down to, you know,
Yeah,
crinkling.
Dude, yeah, the fact and like the toddlers went to the bathroom twice during the movie. Otherwise, they were well behaved, thankfully. But at the beginning, Hillary looks over at me. She's like, "This is gonna be a problem." It wasn't. But dude, I took a picture of her in the theater wearing a coat, and some guy replied being like, "Rent the theater, but make sure the theater is hidden." JK, my girl's always cold too.
Make sure the theater is hidden.
Heated.
Heated. Ah.
JK, my girl always cold too.
That's
pretty good.
That is cute.
That's pretty good.
That's very cute. Did I ever tell you about how I went to see, I think it was one of the Avengers movies,
Mm-hmm.
and the people sitting behind me picked up a phone call
No way.
Absurd.
and were just talking on the phone.
No
I'm at Avengers. No, this is what's happening right now. That part in the movie. And it was I couldn't believe it. And then I did that thing that was very Karen-esque,
Mhm.
where I looked over my shoulder like this,
Mhm.
you know? Kinda
Oh yeah. You're like,
Like,
you just
didn't say
yeah.
anything, just kind of
you
glared
just
at
went,
them. And then she commented on that on the phone. She goes, "This guy's looking at me right now." Like,
so annoying.
and he was looking at me. And then later on, she hung up the phone, and later on they were talking again, and this time just among their group. And I did the same Karen bullshit, looked back at them, and that's when she goes, that's when she was like, he was looking at me earlier when I was on the phone too.
What the fuck?
Like I was wrong.
That's so annoying, man. You're not in your living room, people. We gotta all be courteous to each other.
I don't know.
2023. Hope you guys have some good New Year's resolutions.
Yeah,
Ryan, what do you got over here, pal?
So I did a little research on the home stretch.
Okay.
good.
Here's what we have. So some horse races are longer and some are shorter. So let's look at the Kentucky Derby.
Ah.
I think Kentucky Derby's the gold standard. Let's yes.
So the Kentucky Derby is 1.25 miles or 6,600 feet. According to the late LA Times columnist Jim Murray, the home stretch is 1,234 feet of pure heartbreak. So we have 1,234 feet.
Yeah, divide
That
what did you
by
say, 6,600.
Yep. So we're looking at around the final 18% of the race. So if we round it up to
18%.
20,
No, let's not round it up. 18%.
Did I say 20 before, by the way? I believe that is
Yeah.
what.
20%.
well, for the sake of,
No, use 18
fine, the final 18% of any journey would
of
be
a 5-hour journey.
Would be the last hour.
would be around the
Almost.
last hour.
You're
Dude, this is
rounding.
all-
We need exactly
no, bro,
the number.
This is all lining up really nicely with what we
Hang
were
on,
saying.
hang
We said
on.
5 was
It
right
fits
on the cusp.
narrative.
Yeah,
Let it
it
be
fits the
20.
narrative
5
perfectly.
60
Dude,
times
no, we said
0.18.
that the last
Oh, it
hour,
fits so
Last
nicely.
54 minutes.
yeah, roughly makes sense.
54 minutes in a 5-hour journey is the home stretch.
Right on the cusp and
Not
slightly
59
premature.
minutes. I was premature.
But that's what your whole argument was. You were
I
barely
came
premature.
early. I declared it too soon. And that's what made the home stretch feel that much longer.
There you go.
54
Science.
minutes on a 5-hour journey.
Science.
In Julio's 18-hour pilgrimage,
it would have been
the last 194 minutes. In other words, the last 3 hours and 0.24 times 60. I think, yeah, exactly. 3 hours and 14 minutes.
Thank you.
Good math, G.
Thank you.
Yeah, the last 3
also
hours and
pie.
14 minutes. We're in the home stretch. Only 3 hours and 14 minutes to go.
All right, dude. Where can we see you coming up?
Me?
You?
I'll be in Philadelphia February 1st. Then I'm in Atlanta, which I'm really excited about. That's going to be fun at the Earl. That's Saturday. I think it's February 4th. Then on Sunday night, I'm at Nashville in Zanies. And then from there, we're on to Dallas and Austin, Texas, Vulcan Gas Company. And we're on to Chicago, Minneapolis, and San Francisco with Little Sass. Tickets at francisellis.com, the hero we need tour. Julia, where can we find you?
Hell yeah. I'm going to be in St. Petersburg, Florida in a couple weeks, January 20th. Then DC Improv, March 3rd to the 5th.
Wow, sweet.
And then in April, I am planning to be in Atlanta, Providence, Rhode Island, and also Yonkers, New York. And you can get tickets to my website as well, notjulio.com. And look forward to seeing you soon.